Okay, and continuing in part 2 here, as we've left off, as you can see already, this is starting to look, as we go down here and sort of just take some of this off here. Remember, as I've told you, a face is much like an egg, you see. It's much like an egg, the way you work with it. So there you are. Now, I'm going to work on this nose a little bit. I'm going to take a little bit more off in here. Take a little bit more. And as you can see, I'm just making straight cuts is all I'm doing. And I'm going to come up to the nose and I'm sort of thin it out a little bit. See? And you kind of work from both sides. Sort of thin that nose out a little bit. Sort of take a little bit more off here. Come up here. And we're going to kind of round that head off a little bit. See? There we go. Just sort of round that head off. See what we're doing? Sort of rounding it off. In other words, getting it to where it's going to have a round look to it. Now, sort of rounding this off in here. Taking some wood off in here. This is sort of going to be an at-home Santa, as we might say. I'm going to take a little bit off that nose. It's still a little bit too wide. See that? Just take the edge of your knife and do that. And see what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to take my knife, kind of do there. I'm going to bring it up a little bit on both sides. Just all I'm doing is just kind of flaring them nostrils a little bit like that. See what I did? Now you see how from the side it's starting to look better? Starting to look more like a nose. Now I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to scoop it a little bit to kind of give that nostril flare. Watch. See, just sort of scoop it up just like that. Come on this side. Just sort of scoop it up like that. See? Give it that kind of nostril flare to it. Cut on there. That's to make the nose stand out, as you see. We'll do right here. Little nostril flare. Little nostril flare. Just like that. Now see from the side. Okay. Now, we're going to take our figure and we're going to sort of round off in here. Sort of round off back here. The head itself, in other words. Sort of round it off. And we're going to take our knife and we're going to separate the head from the body. All you do with that is you just cut like a V cut in there to separate the head from the body on both sides. Okay? That's pretty simple. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, this is Christmas time, and it's not going to be a very good Christmas for a lot of people down here. I cannot describe to you what I've seen, and the pain that I've seen down here is just unbelievable for people at this time. Okay, so we're just sort of rounding that off in here, sort of getting that into an egg shape. Just remember an egg, okay? Just remember, remember our faces are not completely round, okay? Our faces are more of an oval shape. And when I say egg shape, I meant oval, basically. So we just start taking and rounding off these areas in here for the face. This is a good lesson on faces, I'll tell you what, it is. Now, a lot of carvers, they carve different. I carve in the flat plane style, remember. So I'm mostly a series of flat plane cuts, a Swedish way of doing it. But you see, I just sort of go around, look at the figure, and sort of just go around just making it like a little egg. Because when you cut it, it's not that way. It's you have to go back and look at that in such a way. See? So there you go. All right. Now let's get to the. You get my pencil. Okay. Now, have you seen before? But what's good about this lesson is we've got a bigger head this time, so we give it what we want. Okay. Now, what I usually do at this point is, let me put my knife over here before I cut myself. I'll take and I'll come up just above the nose here, and I'll draw a line across here. Because what that is, that's where and down here. In other words, that's where like right in here. Let me, if I can make that more clear there. What it is, that's where the hairline is. Or the ball line, or whatever, in other words. All I did was from this point, draw around to this point over here. That's all. And let me show you why I did that. I'm going to take my knife, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut deep. Now, I think a lot of you have a little problem with cutting deep. You're afraid you're going to cut too much off. But basically, don't worry about that. You know, it's trial and error. I cut pretty deep, see? So I took my knife, and I just went all the way around, and then I'm going to remove that wood in there. Okay? What I'm doing is I am establishing the hairlines, is what I'm doing right here. And I think this is one of the most simplest ways to carve a face. Now, as you carve later on, you can find some more direction and ways that you want to carve. But this is a very simple way with straight lines how to carve a face in the flat plane style. Okay? Alright, there you go. And what I've done is I've simply separated. Now I'm cutting deep. See? See? See that? I've separated the face from the hairline is what I've done. That's what I've done right there. So that I can make my ears and the other stuff that goes along with it. And I'll show you how we're going to do this. Okay? Now you see that? Now, I'm going to come down here and just take a little bit more off to make this a little bit more oval. See? Look at that. So it's sort of just taking a knife and just sort of looking at the character and making the face a little bit more oval than what it should be. Okay, now I'm going to come back here and take a little bit more off right back here. There we go. Round this off just a little bit more. But you see, we're separating the hairline from the face itself, where the face stands out from the hair or the beard or what we're going to carve here in such a way. Okay? Now we're just going to round this off a little bit. Whoop. And there we are, see? The way that's done on each side gives us a working line for that. Okay, I think we're just about out for part 2. I know it doesn't take long, folks, because we can only go up to 10 minutes or 8-9 minute videos. But we'll start in part 3, establishing the hairlines, the ears, and everything like that. Plus, we're getting the depth of our ears when we remove this wood. Okay.